Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Nico coming with a new video today. So today this is going to be episode 6 I believe of our current playthrough for the game Satisfactory. This is going to be update 8.0. As you can see the top left, that's the experimental build icon. So that's just stating that we can actually play around with the new current update, which is 8.0. As the live game I believe is only currently under is 7 point something. But yeah, so pretty much where we left off, guys, is we ended up getting some water extractors, some coal power plant or coal generators or power generators going over here. So that would mean that we obviously unlocked the new milestones too accordingly in the hub, which before we look up here, just for a recap, what I would like to do today is, as you can see, the coal is currently bottlenecking here. So we could split off, I believe there's probably, there's only one. So I might even try to split off the coal here, again, one more time, and see how far we can spread out this coal, and we'll create some more generators just for our power. So that way when our biomass burners no longer have fuel, at least we'll be set for quite a bit of, period of time, I guess. But yeah, other than that, guys, I hope, of course, you guys are enjoying the series. Any sort of feedback would be, of course, appreciated. Any sort of likes, dislikes, comments, of course. There's been a few comments as well, which has been fantastic, so thank you so much for that. But yeah, definitely enjoying the game. Of course, if you guys are, or if you like the game, or if there's anything you would like to know, yeah, just leave a comment, and of course, I'll answer it. But coming up here, guys, you can see that I've got some foundries sorted out. We've got 3 at the moment. You can see that the resources are being split into 3, hence why there's been a lot less resources distributed, I guess, less across the board. However, once we get these belts upgraded, we should be more than fine. But as you can see at the top right, we got Logistics Mark 3 as the milestone we're currently trying to progress towards. So we're going to have a quick look to see if we've got enough steel beams, and we definitely probably would have enough steel pipes, I would probably say. So we got 66 in both, as it produces the same amount, so I'd be really shocked if it was more. And we've got 180 of these pipes, so definitely more than enough. So for the meantime, because we still need, about 68 steel beams, before we even do anything else, what I will probably do is I will go set up some more power generators over here. So with the foundries, of course, to kind of produce more and become a little more efficient, we could set up more foundries, but for the meantime, we're just going to focus on getting to Logistics Mark 3. We're going to replace all the belts with the steel beams that we're currently producing, and we will go from there. So coming over to here, we will see that a little bit of a bottleneck. In terms of space, what we might do is we might start to try to create a few more generators even this way. So what would we need? Power. So we got plenty of resources too as well to play around with. So for now, what we'll do is we will place probably 3 more generators accordingly, which means we're going to need to make 3 more extractors. So we could split the water off, as I believe that is a thing. Yep, we could technically split the water off, but I find it's a little bit easier just to have an extractor for each one. In terms of power, it's probably not so efficient, but at least that way you're getting enough water regardless to go to the machines. That way you don't have to as well power and split the pumps, etc. But for the meantime, this is just going to be our current setup. Of course, if we can't afford the where are they, the extractors, then it'll be a different story. So we can actually get 2 extractors. So for the 3rd one, we will just split it. So if we go to logistics, piping, like so. And then we will put the junction about here. Right. So water's going to obviously struggle to flow uphill. So by placing it flat, we should be able to get the resource distinguished a little bit easier. And just like so, we've got this set up. And then of course all we need to do is, once again, set these up to power. And then with the last one, we will still end up piping it over like so. And then all we need to do now is split the coal off over here in hope that there is more than enough coal to go around. So we'll then split this line again. And I will explain just as after I snap this on for what's going on. So what we've got here is we've got the line itself. It's going to be splitting two ways because we would like these resources distinguished or distributed evenly between 3 plants each. So yeah, so we've got this split between 2 different ways, and then of course when it gets down here, it then splits into 3 lanes, obviously accordingly to the 3 generators, and we've got the same thing going on over here. So that way they will be all even. But however, we probably will need to get more coal at some point. Just something we'll have to take note of course. So just having a look at the resources. So you can see it's obviously slowly moving, and that's because of the belts being, you know, of course, pretty slow. So if we can just get some resources down there, they should operate smoothly. So the first thing we'll probably do is we will probably upgrade these belts here to be Mark III pretty much immediately. Or even what we could do is, if we have enough, we've got 59. So I think what we might do is we might even not too sure why this conveyor is. And then and how many more do we have? We have 10 more plates we can place, which I reckon this is probably a little more than 10. It's 20. So this is just going to allow the material to just flow a little bit quicker, getting up to this point down here, which is pretty much all we're trying to do, is just produce or run this resources as quickly as we possibly can. But for now, that's just going to have to do. We'll go over here real quick. We'll see what we're working with. So we've got 18 in here. And we actually might have more than enough to probably start it. So we'll just go have a quick look at these lines. So this one is still full. So there is a possibility we will need to get another line sorted, or at the very least we'll need to get the miner Mark II unlocked. But for now, what we'll do is we will hook these up, and if our power does trip, then we'll just simply, of course, hook it all. So just making sure that these are all hooked. And just like so, we will have these turn on. Of course, when the water ends up extracting over. So we can see the extractors are on, water's transporting through the pipes. And at any point, we should see some black powder come from the top of these generators. We can hear it's coming through the pipe now over here. Yep, got the middle one working, and the right one, and the left one. The only thing that's going to be stopping these will just be the amount of coal that the generators themselves currently are getting. So, we have a quick look. So by the looks of this, we're going to actually need to increase the water for this one. And then for these two, they are receiving more than enough water. So, to help with this, what we can do as I believe this one is currently going up a hill. So flow rate is going up and down. So we want to just check where the flow rate's struggling. So what we could do is we'll put a pump here to see if this will help with the water. So we'll take a little bit for the water obviously to get through. If not, we may need to put the pump further down, but we'll just wait and see. So this one is definitely going really well. So this one's still struggling to get some water, as we can see. And the real question is now we got to figure out how we can kind of fix it. So this one is full. So I think what we'll do is we'll get rid of this pump and we will place it out here. And we just got to pretty much wait around and just see what kind of happens. Every time I jump in the water in this game, I always think that there's going to be something in the water in terms of a creature or something. And for the meantime, it doesn't seem like there is. So it's kind of a good feeling, more than anything. Alright, so we can see now that this is opening up a little bit better. That one's full. So what's happening is the water's traveling down the pipe. It's going to be focusing on getting the water straight through out of physics. As soon as this one, I guess, is full or whatever, it's going to split off like so. Coming into this machine, we can see now the water is currently going up, which is good. In terms of our power, we've got a capacity of 700. That's going to drop a lot with our burners by about 200, I think. So we will be clear of that. So for now, what we'll do is we will run over and we will see how our foundries are currently going, because we do need 200 beams. And we're about, I think I said 60 or 70 shy. And once we get those, we'll run up, we'll research logistics Mark 3. And once we get some belts produced, we'll immediately replace them with these lines here. We will probably replace these ones first, if power's not an issue, just so that way we can get our resources transported much quicker. So that way these machines are always going to have resources in them to be able to produce what we need. So the biggest thing we can see is we're waiting on coal. We're waiting on iron, sorry. So we have an abundance of coal in storage, and then we're obviously waiting for iron to constantly be coming in before it's producing. So we want it to constantly be producing steel ingots for us. So coming over this way, we will definitely have more than enough now. Awesome. We will even get the steel pipes just in case we need them. We'll run over, we'll get the research done. If there's any quartz or any other sort of materials we find on the way, we'll actually pick them up. Just so that way we can have a look at the research system or the tech tree, and we'll just see what else is available to us. But I'll chat again to you guys when we're back up. Alrighty guys, so we're back up at main hub area, and we're just going to have a quick look at the materials that we can now see. So looking at these two minerals here, which I had found, we're going to have a look at the research that we can do. So quartz here, we can hit research as we have 10. So we can see now we're going to be able to produce quartz crystals and this silica from the quartz itself once we unlock these next two tiers. These are going to provide us at some point with blade runners as a piece of equipment that we can attach. We're going to also end up receiving, by the looks of it, better ammo for our weapon. And then 6+ inventory slots, and then whatever else is down here. So for this category here, we're going to need 4 more of this resource here before we can progress, which I know exactly where a deposit is, so we'll probably go get 4 more for the meantime. And we will quickly go to the next tier. We'll actually unlock Logistics Mark 3 now, which I'm super excited about.
Logistics can be improved with a larger storage container and enhanced conveyor belt efficiency.
So you can see Mark 2 to Mark 3, it goes from 120 to 270 per minute, which is a huge increase. So we're going to replace belts as much as we can. We've got 69 spare, so we're going to replace as many as we can to allow us to get resources transported quicker. But for the meantime, we will select this milestone. What we need in here is going to be... Oh wait, we can't actually do it yet. So, before I walk away, I'll just see what I need. More wire, not a problem. We got the steel pipes. We're going to need a lot of rotors, as you can see. So we're going to be waiting on these. But for the meantime, we'll just let that be. And if you look at the alternate recipe too for the rotors, I might end up setting this up. Because 52 screws and 6 copper sheet making 3 is a pretty good trade-off for the current option for the rotors, which is 5 rods, 25 screws for 1, as this actually ends up being a much cheaper way and a more efficient way to be able to make them. As you can see, it's going to create 11 per minute compared to the 4 per minute that we currently would have set up. So just something for us to be mindful of course. Craft a few more ammo while we're here. And we'll even have a look at the nutrients we might have. So we need some modular frames, and we'll unlock the next one. But before we do that, I actually know exactly where a Caterium node is. So we'll actually go to the node itself and we will end up collecting at least 4 more for the meantime, and we'll come back and we'll have a quick research, and then after that we'll go and we'll fix up all of our current belts as best we can. Alrighty, back at main base, guys. We've actually collected a little more Caterium and some quartz as well, so we should have more than enough to research a little bit more. Going into our quartz here, we will probably go for the silica first, I think, because we want to probably pick up these blade runners. I think they could be a little bit of fun, so we'll research this one. This is going to allow us to craft this new material from quartz. Quartz is also now something we can track at some point, so we will probably go set up quartz. 200 meters away isn't too bad. Looking at Caterium as well, we can research Caterium and we'll have a look what we can make from this. So not too surprised here, we can craft Caterium ingots, so we'll unlock this. This is going to allow us to obviously create quick wire, which is going to be a new resource from Caterium. As you can see, we have a zipline as a potential thing. Didn't even know this was in the game. And stun rebar ammo, which could be also very interesting. And then this here, we're obviously going to need the 100 of the quick wire itself to be able to progress a little bit further. But for the meantime, definitely can't complain, as we're unlocking a few extra little things down the skill tree option here. But for now, what we'll do is we will go over here, we'll place in the resources that we currently have. So we're going to need a lot more wire. And what we will do on the to-do list will be to set up a new way to create these brooches for us with the copper sheets. So we've got 44 rotors, which we're going to need 200 of, which is a lot more. And we need about March. We'll put more cables in our inventory as well, because you never know what you need. We do have an iron node there as well, which we can just take note of. And I actually managed to find something else, which we will probably set up as well. So, placing in the resources that we just obtained. So we need a lot more rotors, which we'll have a look at what we can do to craft these. So we're going to need screws and bolts. However, what we might do is we'll come over to here, we'll craft a portable miner, maybe even 2 portable miners. And looking at what we'll need, so we will need constructors, we'll probably need an assembler as well. We will need maybe smelters, which we have enough resources. We might get a few more rods. We'll need this, which should be enough. So we just need some rods and at least 4 rotors, and we should be good to set up what we want to make next. So we'll have to wait for one more, like so. So we're probably going to use this one right here. And how many copper sheets are we getting? We're getting quite a few. So what we could actually do is we might even place in some power shards in here to overclock this to produce copper sheets at a much quicker rate for us. So that way we can split the line off and we will use the copper sheets we've already got. We've got some iron here, which we're going to need for the screws side of things. So we might actually be okay and not have to travel too far. So running over here, if we make these power shards. I can't remember if this always used to be in the game where you know, these different type of slugs gave 1, 2, or 5 power shards, but if it was, yeah, I don't remember it, but I do actually, I will say one thing about it is I think it's actually an incredible idea. Yeah, it's really, really awesome. So even though our factory at the moment up here is a little bit chaotic and there's, you know, stuff going everywhere, it's probably not going to be something that's going to be like this forever, but for the meantime, leave it how it is. So with this miner Mark 1, we will place line here. What we're going to need this to do is we're going to need this to smelt. Like so. We're almost probably running out of room as well. So we'll see how many foundations we can kind of create, which is going to allow a little more room. And if we put in, we'll probably have a lot of concrete. We probably won't have enough inventory space. No. So we'll just leave this like so. We'll probably need to move all this at some point. So creating some smelters here. Going to need quite a few. At least to have it as the most efficient way as possible. So, going in like so, if we split this off, that'll fit in there very fine. That won't, and I thought that would happen. So we'll have to place this one over here. These are all going to make, of course, iron ingots. We're then going to need to place some constructors. Like so. Which we're going to use these to construct iron rods. And then these now are going to need more constructors. These are going to construct screws for us. Like so. We're now going to overclock these machines over here to be as efficient as possible. And we may end up actually crafting another constructor for this line. Overclocking this machine as well. We may even change the belts over here to be Mark III belts. And same with this one. That'll help with speeding up production a little bit. And then what we will do is we might actually end up placing a few extra more foundations over here. We did actually get the bigger industrial storages as well, just to be mindful of. So we'll place some more foundations. And there is going to be a very good reason for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this line right here. So these are all going to be making screws for us. And we probably will end up adding more onto this at some point. So these are going to be making screws, which we're then going to need a assembler, like so. Get it in a better spot. So we will craft the assembler. Probably about... because we might be able to actually fit in 2. But for now, we'll leave it there. Alrighty, so looking at our recipes, we've got alternate iron plates, which use iron plates and screws to make these reinforced plates. Which technically is going to be better because it's going to be mass producing. So we might actually change it over there. As that is definitely a better recipe. So this is going to require screws. So screws are going to come from here. How many steel beams do we have? We've got a few. So what we might do is we might go like this. We might then place a merger here. And we'll set these as Mark II for now. This is going to be set for the 3 rotors per minute. And we're going to overclock this machine. We're then also going to need copper sheets, which are going to come from over here. Like so. I had a feeling that would be probably too steep. That's okay. Just like so. That will have copper sheets going in. And what we're also going to try to do is set up two more constructors like so. These are also going to turn copper ingots into copper sheets, which are in theory going to... I just jumped off the map. I didn't die. Wow. That was a huge mistake. Anyway, we can get down safely. I've just got to hope that we can get over here without any fall damage or dying. That could have been really, really bad. Really, really quick. That was a huge mistake. That's alright. What we'll do is we will run back up. The quick way as well. So I don't think we'll survive another fall like that with this amount of HP. We'll have to be very careful. That was a bit of a jump scare moment too for me. Alright, so we'll do it again this time without falling. So we've got 2 constructors that are making copper sheets. These are then going to merge like so. Probably going to have to actually just place another merger. Like so. We're going to have plenty of copper sheets now from the production of these machines. Or copper sheets. So we'll run over here now. And we will split these off. So we will run these into the machines over here. Like so. We will do the same thing for the line over here. And lucky last, of course, all we'll need to do is set up power. If we can get over this line. So we'll split off this other line in the middle here. As we aren't really needing, you know, cables and wire as much anymore. It's not really in demand. Just like so. So now, last thing we need to do is set all of this up to power, which is going to be a lot. So now, need this machine set up to power, this machine, and this machine. We now got our 3 smelters set up, which they should be all set to iron ore already, which is good. We'll then need to set up our constructors, or our first lot of constructors, like so. They should all be making iron rods, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll then need to set up again next lot of constructors. I have to power that assembler, of course, which we'll probably end up getting another assembler over here pretty soon. And we just need to do the constructor. So we have a bit of power, still spare, but we're going to leave that for now because we are actually going to probably do a little more over here at some point. And all we need to do is find a free pole. which we will do this. Now, you can see our capacity is going up and down. So that's going to be in reference towards our biomass burners. So we're actually going to top these up just in case we need the power, because we don't actually want our whole factory to trip. So we will get some fuel. Making sure that this one is topped up as well. We do actually have a lot of wood in here still. So we're going to top up every single biomass burner that we currently have, as we do not want our power to trip. So by the looks of it, these are actually full, so it's got to be something to do with one of our plants down the bottom there. This is what we were using before for smart plating, I do remember. And there is in fact actually one last thing that we need to do that we haven't actually done yet, which is going to be getting to come over here. So if we actually go into storage, we wrap it around. We're pretty much just wrapping it all around at this point. And this is going to pretty much move all the rotors over to that centralized position for storage, which is going to be a lot better for us. So we are getting, you know, quite a bit of sheets. We're probably just lacking on the screw department really more than anything. So we'll have to have a look at what we can do to help out with screw production. We don't have any alternatives at the moment for screws, so we're going to have to leave that how it is. So if we find some more shards, we will produce screws at a much quicker rate, which is probably going to be the biggest thing that we can probably do. But for now, we're going to leave this. This is going to be more than enough rotors that are going to be made in terms of speed, etc. So this is something that we can definitely leave for a little bit. And place that in there because we won't actually need these items. 29 rotors, which is nice. And then, so we can see 6 and 12 screws is going to make 12.5 per minute. And then what is this one going to do? 37 per minute. But we're going to need a lot more iron plates and we're going to need a lot more screws. However, it is going to produce a lot more per minute. So, you know. And to speed things up, we can actually place screws in here like so. And that should be good. So now we'll run over here real quick. We'll place in these rotors like so. Have a look at what we'll need. So it'll be screws and rods again, as expected. But for the meantime, what we'll do is we'll actually run down the bottom. We'll collect all the steel beams that we've now produced. And we'll have a look at how our power situation is going, because that's going to be our biggest priority at this point. And the reason I say that is because if you have a look over here, what we've got is some quartz nodes, which we're going to probably set up at some point very, very soon. Because what's also over here, somewhere, I know I could scan it, but I believe it's over here somewhere, is there is in fact another coal node just, you know, sitting around. We don't need copper ore. Yep. So there's a coal node right here. So we just need iron, and we can set up more foundries with these to produce even more steel beams, as they're going to be the biggest thing we're going to need to progress even further on. But we will probably set up the quartz and start production of that as well at some point. But we'll just go over, we'll check how our coal power plants are going, because we can see our power's, you know, going in and out. So I reckon they're obviously turning off because they're not probably getting enough coal. So we're going to do what we can to help the transportation of the coal. As you can see, this is, you know, obviously, you know, really, really slow. So we only need rotors, and then we can create miner Mark IIs. But because we don't have the rotors just yet, we'll let them keep crafting on their own. We'll get some steel beams, and we will fix up these lines the best we can. So we should probably have quite a few more steel beams now. 182, that is actually a lot. We'll obviously have quite a few more pipes. We've got 240, get the extra 80 in there. So this is definitely a lot of... Thank you so much for watching, guys. That's going to be episode 6 for our current playthrough or journey. As you can see, episode 7 is going to be very juicy, as there's going to be a lot that does end up happening here. Do apologise, as my throat itself is very sore. But yeah, very, very excited to give you guys episode 7, as there is going to be a lot that is going to happen. But thank you so much for watching, guys, and enjoy your day.